hello. I always say about her is, if the disciples were the Justice League, she was Wonder Woman. Mary Magdalene was amazing. So yeah, it's about bringing these stories out and bringing these women to the forefront because they empower us to want to come out and step out and be in the forefront. So.
Wow. Okay. So now I got to talk to you about. Talk to me about Black Panther, because I felt like there was a strong female. There was a strong lady presence in that movie with the. Well, I don't want to be a spoiler if somebody ain't seen it, but if you ain't seen it by now, we gotta talk.
Exactly.
But talk to me
Black
about
Panther.
what you
First of all,
saw.
I spent the whole weekend in Wakanda.
I saw your post.
I've been to Wakanda 4 times.
Wow.
I've officially been invited to sit on the board of the Wakandan Outreach Center in Oakland. That's what I keep telling everybody. Black Panther was super powerful. It's impossible to dissect every single theme in that movie, both cultural and theological, right? But some of the things that stood out for me, absolutely the strong female presence. Here's what I loved about that. Warrior, mothers, sisters, geniuses, right? All of these women. But the men, T'Challa, W'Kabi, they were not intimidated by the presence of these women. That was one of the things that stood out to me the most. They invited the challenge from these women. They appreciated the counsel of the women the Wakandan women. They respected them. Well, he's in the king's court, and his mom is right at his side, being announced as Queen Mother. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So, I loved that. I loved that we got to see a man who was strong enough to stand in the presence of strong women and not have to belittle them or make them feel less than, which is what we experience a lot of these days, right? I loved that. I loved the theme of him being created in the image of their God Bast. And I love that because to me that spoke volumes about us created in God's image. But what was also so great about that is he was stripped of his power in order to give other people access to the throne. Come on. Which to me was highly symbolic of Jesus Christ, because isn't that what he did?
Right.
He stripped himself of all divinity, of all power. He made himself of no reputation to come down here to do what? To give us access to the throne. Jeez. That, to me, was powerful. Powerful. I loved that. I was like, does anybody else see this? I was like, does anybody else see this? And it was near death. And then what did they do? Then they ended up burying him. Right?
Right.
And he came back. Come on, somebody. I was like, y'all don't see Jesus in this? You missed it. You got to go back to Wakanda. You don't see it.
I saw something. I couldn't put my hand on it.
And then he came right back to save everyone. I thought that was powerful. I love that symbolism of burial, visiting the ancestors, resurrection. I love the question, who are you? The movie starts sort of with the question of who are you and ends with the question, who are you? Yeah. So I think it just sort of was Ryan Coogler's nod to us really asking the question who we are, which goes back to who's that lady? Who are you? This constant doing the constant work to understand who you are, but more importantly, who God created you to be. Who are you? Who are you? Wow. In corporate America, we are very big on elevator speeches. You know how they say you should always have your 30-second elevator speech ready in case you end up in the elevator with an executive or the CEO. You should always have your 30-second elevator speech ready. But I think as a Christian believer, we should also have our 30-second speech ready. If somebody comes to you and says, who are you and why do you believe what you believe, you can articulate it. You can tell them why you believe what you believe, and who you are. So that's just powerful to me. I love that movie. I'm going back to Wakanda this weekend. Absolutely can't get enough of it. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you see it. It's visually stunning.
Right.
It's, again, as as the actors have even indicated, we don't see this a lot. We don't see this powerful, strong portrayal of us on screen. So I thought it was awesome, and the themes running throughout was just incredible.
So
incredible.
Is there a Who's That Lady Black Panther workshop seminar coming soon?
I don't know, but it could. It's so funny. I wanted to do something on the entire Justice League, which is DC, not Marvel.
Right.
So I don't know. I have yet to meld my superhero, my love of superhero, and my comic book geek persona with Who's That Lady. But I don't know. It could be. I think that's very interesting. I think you give me 5 minutes, I'll come up with something. I think you have just sparked an idea in me. Right. Maybe some sort of Dora Milaje action. So yeah.
Right.
Could be. I think so. I think that's an easy fix. That's very easy to do.
So through the interview, I've learned that you have a lot of things going on. How do you balance ministry and family life? I don't always do a great job at it, I'll admit. But the one thing I do not forsake, I never forsake date night. I will never give up. I never give up date night. When you aspire to do a lot of things, things fall through the cracks. It's just what it is. And, as the saying goes, you can have everything, you just can't have it all at once. So something is going to suffer, right? The one thing that I'm committed to not allowing it to suffer in my marriage, because my husband is amazing and he gives me the freedom to do what God called me to do. It's really wonderful when there's no envy in marriage. And everyone doesn't have that testimony. He is not jealous. He allows me the freedom to do what I have been called to do. And when I say that's freedom, that is freedom. And so the one thing that I know I can do for him is not forsake my quality time with him. And nor do I want to, because that's where I get fueled up and I find my strength. And I always tell him that I love him, certainly for a million reasons, but because he allows me to be my worst self. Not my best self, my worst self. Because I have to be my best self in front of everybody else. But when you can be with somebody and feel comfortable enough with them to be your worst self, you got something. And they still stick around. That's key. So one of the things I'm very passionate about is never giving up date night. It means a great deal to me. It means a great deal to us. It's sort of where I can draw my strength. So that's one of my non-negotiables when it comes to this work-life balance. And I think also including him on the decisions that I make. He's very smart. And I believe he went to Hampton, yes. That's right. Your husband's a Hampton man, right?
Yes, he is. He is a Hampton man. You're like, let the record show. But he's also very smart. Right. And so I don't shut him out of decisions. He is very much my voice of reason when it comes to making major decisions, even about this ministry. And I appreciate that. So I think in marriages, sometimes the issues start when we don't communicate about the things that we're doing or invite our partner into our dreams and our visions, even when it's not their vision. But again, because he allows me the freedom to do it, I feel like I want to include him in it. I need his clear thinking, and that doesn't just go for my husband. I always say it takes a village to raise a Tisha. It really does. And I have a village of people that Reverend Cherie Jones. She is like my sounding board because she is probably one of the most clear-thinking, level-headed people I know. And whereas I am, let's just knock the door down, she's very much, why don't we just get a key? So, I need that, but I need that. Do you know what I mean? I need people in my life like that who can balance me and say, you went way, because I'm a creative being. My mind works. By the time I say it, I'm 20 minutes past it. And so I think it's important as women especially, because we always have a million irons in the fire with spaghetti. Everything is always mixed up together. We have issues compartmentalizing. I think it's very important to have a village of people who help you think straight. That's very important, especially as you grow in ministry and in careers and in entrepreneurship. You need solid, clear-thinking people around you and or people who think differently than you do. So if you're a very logical thinker, you probably want to surround yourself with some creative people. For me, I'm a creative thinker. I need to surround myself with logical people. It just helps me. And that's something I really learned along the way. I didn't always feel that way, but what I have learned is that leaders focus, they don't spray. And so having clear thinking, logical people in my squad, in my family, on my team, who love me and support me has been a tremendous blessing to me.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to ask you 2 questions on the way out. You've been doing a phenomenal job so far, and I know that this episode is going to bless women and empower them and encourage them.
I'm prayerful.
Yeah, we're going to pray on it. One of the 2 questions I want to ask you is, what advice do you have for women called to ministry today?
My first piece of advice for women called to ministry today is be your authentic self. Be true to who you are and who God made you to be. Sounds very simple and very basic, but when the heat gets turned on and you begin to see other people in ministry, it's very easy to want to adopt their styles because you feel like that's what's popular or that's what's working. But it takes more courage to stand in your truth and be who you are and speak in your own voice and work with what God gave you. Because there's somebody out there who needs your ministry. There's somebody out there who needs your gift and your voice. So my first piece of advice is be true to who God created you to be. He made us all different for a reason. Because the way I preach may not resonate with a certain group of people. And the way you preach may not resonate with us, but there's somebody out there, everyone, even in the world of ministry. And so I highly encourage, and it'll be a fight. You'll struggle with it at times, but be true to who you are. Be your authentic self.
That's a good piece of advice. What endeavors do you have coming up? I know you had I saw a whole schedule, like you posted, like you got a lot of engagements coming up. You got a lot of engagements coming up.
A lot of preaching engagements. Thank God, praise the Lord. I'm very happy about that. I thank God. I made a promise that if He opened the door, I'd have the courage to walk through it. And so I'm just doing my best to keep up my end of the bargain. Preaching engagements. Preaching in South Carolina, Ellerbe, South Carolina in April, coming to Richmond in May.
I found out about that a couple of weeks ago, but
yeah, coming to you guys in Richmond, Virginia in May, and as I said earlier, very excited about who's that lady coming to Africa, to Mwani, Kenya. That's on the horizon.
That's going to be big. I think that's going to just like catapult your ministry. But when you come out here in May, bring those. You got those T-shirts. Bring those T-shirts.
I have who's that lady? Shout out to Who's That Lady?
Yes,
that's another branch of Who's That Lady.
Right.
We're growing. So Who's That Lady? Under the umbrella of Who's That Lady Ministries, we have obviously Who's That Lady